Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the railway, and this is just a quick video. I did have a couple of requests for this one about how to wheel clean on your locomotives. So I'm going to basically show you how to wheel clean most types of steam locomotive, and also a lot of these techniques will work just fine on diesels as well. So here are the four types that I'm going to be showing you how to wheel clean. So first of all, we've got the Flying Scotsman here, which is a triang type, and the method I use for this will work for all triang locos. Then we have a modern-ish Hornby locomotive, as you can see here. It hasn't got the tender on, so this is the type that has the detachable tender. Then we have another type of modern Hornby locomotive, this time with the tender attached, with pickups on the tender. And then we have a modern Bachmann locomotive, with a tender attached, but not necessarily with tender pickups. So let's get started. I'll show you first of all how you go about cleaning the wheels on a triang locomotive. Okay, so here we are then with my Flying Scotsman, and I'm just going to show you what you're going to need for this. First of all, you're going to need a controller of some sort, and this is the sort of cheapo Hornby controller. I don't really recommend this one because it does cut out very easily, but I'm going to be using this one just for today. You're also going to need some sort of cleaning fluid. I personally use lighter fluid because it generally gets the job done the best. You're also going to want some of these cotton buds. These are just generic cotton buds, you can't really go wrong with that. And for certain locomotives, you're going to need a couple of needles. So that's what a needle looks like. But not for all of them. So yeah, let's talk about getting this triang loco's wheels cleaned. And we're actually going to have to get the body off for this one, so I'm going to do that right now. So while I do this, let's talk about why it's so important to keep the wheels clean. It does seem pretty obvious, but some of you might not realise. Of course, the locomotives need to pick up power through the wheels. So quite simply, if the wheels are dirty, they can't do that very well. And that just leads to all kinds of trouble, bad traction, bad running, all sorts of bad things. So yes, not very well explained there, I realise, but yeah, that's basically what the problem is. Okay, so an optional thing to use here is the helping hand. Now I use this to hold my locomotive. And before I clamp this into the helping hand, I'll just show you this, because you need to identify which side of the locomotive you're going to attach power to. So you're just going to want to look at the motor, and you see the side there which has the wire going to the brush. That's where you're going to want to connect the power. Okay, so I'm going to flip this over, and I'm just going to connect this to my helping hand, like this. Now these helping hands you can get for about £6 on eBay, or wherever you want to shop from. They're not very expensive at all, and they really are very useful. Okay, so now my controller, now what I've done is I've just clipped onto the output of my controller. I don't know if you can see it here. As you can see, I've just clipped on there some crocodile clips, and again, they're very cheap. And basically all you're going to want to do is you want to power up your locomotive. So we'll put one clip here onto the chassis of the helping hand, and the other clip onto that wire, which is attached to the motor, which we sort of worked out just a second ago. Okay, so now I'm going to give it some power and get it started. Here we go. Alright, there we go. So the wheels are turning. It's very simple now. All we have to do is get some cotton buds. So I'm going to grab a couple of those. Let's get some out. There's a small handful. And get the lighter fluid open. And very simply clean the wheels. Now with the triang ones, you only have to bother cleaning the four outer wheels. So the middle wheels you don't have to bother with if you don't want to. If they're dirty though, you might as well just do it. And you want to use as much of this lighter fluid and as many cotton buds as you need. These wheels have already been cleaned a few times, probably quite recently actually, so these aren't going to come up with a lot of dirt, but as you can see there is a little bit on here. Now once you've finished cleaning the surface of all the main driving wheels, you're also going to want to clean the inside of the set that has the pickups. So I can see there's a pair of pickups here, so I'm just going to put this on the inside of the wheel there, and that is probably where most of the dirt is going to come from actually. So if you clean that properly, that is all you need to do. So I'm going to turn the power off now, and those wheels should be now pretty clean. And of course, if you want to know more about how to service a triang locomotive, you can check out some of my videos that I've done on those. But now then, let's move on to more modern stuff. Okay, so here is my Hornby Merchant Navy class, and this doesn't have the tender attached. If the tender is attached, it's a lot easier, but this one does not have that. So I'm going to show you how you go about getting this one powered up. So I'm going to put this in a cradle, or you need to find some way of supporting it. Sometimes the locomotive packaging is a good idea, if you still have the block of ice packaging. Okay, I'm going to turn this round, and you want to look here. You see where the tender would connect? You have pickups going from there. So what I tend to do is, I get my crocodile clips again, I'll put one on here, like this, on that connection, just like that. And the other one has to go underneath onto one of the trailing pieces. Now when you look at your locomotive you'll see where that goes, but you basically just want to make a circuit there. Okay, let me turn the power on. Okay, wheels are turning, and this is the exact same thing. So this locomotive, has pickups on every wheel, so I'm going to do the insides of each wheel as well. There we go. Now you want to hold these cotton buds down a little bit longer and clean these for a little bit longer than I am, but I'm just doing it quite quickly so that we can move on. So that's the surfaces of the wheels done. Now let's do the insides of each wheel, like this. And again, you're going to want to do this for longer than I'm doing, but I'm just demonstrating. Okay, so that's how you do it with a Hornby locomotive, a modern one, which doesn't have the tender, but does have tender pickups. There we go, just turn that off. Okay, so if your loco does have a tender, good news, it's pretty easy. Okay, I'll show you how to do that one. Okay, so this is my schools class then, and this does have pickups in the tender, which is permanently connected. So all we're going to do then, same as always, let me put this in its cradle, or in a cradle. And again, you don't have to do this, but I just think it protects them a little bit better. Now all you have to do here is very, very carefully clip on your crocodile clips onto any two of the tender wheels. Now you might want to change it. If this doesn't work, you want to try a different pair of wheels, because sometimes the pickups won't work. But yeah, you want to be very careful not to scratch the back wheels there. Okay, apply power. That's powered. And bear in mind, of course, with all the locomotives I'm showing you today, you're also going to want to clean the bogie wheels and the tender wheels as well. But this is just the driving wheels, because of course with the bogie wheels it's very easy just to clean them however you'd clean a coach wheel or something like that. Okay, so now that that's running, let's get that clean. And you do want to clean the traction tyres as well. This one does have some traction tyres, unfortunately, and you can see quite a lot of dirt has come off that traction tyre. So I'll keep doing that. And of course, while dirt is coming off, you want to keep cleaning it, really. There we go, that'll do. I'll clean that better later on, because I don't want to waste too much time on it. So yeah, just finished cleaning these. There we go. Yeah, quite a lot of dirt coming off this one. This was probably well ready for a wheel clean. So yeah, as always, do this for plenty of time. Make sure all that dirt has come off, and they will run just fine. Okay, cut the power then, and I will finally show you how to wheel clean a Bachmann locomotive. Okay, here we go then. Here's a Bachmann locomotive, and this is the Robinson 04, and this particular example does not have any pickups in the tender. Now, what I'm going to show you now should work for most Bachmann locomotives, although it might not work for some, but I think it will work for most. Okay, I'll show you what to do then. Now, of course, if your Bachmann loco does have tender pickups, you don't have a problem, because you can just do what I showed you a second ago with the Hornby tender locomotive. But if you don't have tender pickups on a Bachmann loco, it can be a little bit difficult to know how to clean the wheels. Well, this is where the needles come in, so I'm going to get my pair of needles now. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to attach each crocodile clip to the top of each needle, as you can see. So there's one, here's the other one. And then you basically place each needle very gently into the little copper slots on the bottom of the locomotive. Let's try and do this. Doesn't matter which ones you use. Now you don't want to push them in too far, otherwise they'll cause a short. But I think that should work. So now let's power it up. As you can see, that is now turning very easily. The only problem is now you've got these great needles sticking out, so you really want to be careful not to catch them as you clean. But that is perfectly cleanable now. And, you know, there's no need to take the body off. Oops, I think I've gone and shorted it out. Right, anyway, yes. So these needles have just gone in a bit too far and they've shorted the controller. So why, and that basically is why I don't really like using these, because a little short will turn them off. But you get the picture, you see how that would work, and that's the way I clean all of mine. So yes. Okay, well that should just about do it. That should show you how to clean most types of model locomotive. Of course, for Hornby 060s and 040s, my advice is just to take the body off, find two terminals, find both sides of the motor and connect it there. And yeah, that should just about do it. So yeah, I hope that's useful, and I hope that was helpful to those of you who requested it. And thank you very much for watching. So that should just about do it. Cheers everybody, see you very soon.